Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
Oh, what happened there? Tyvis got cut off. Oh well. Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday, September 20th, 2024. Hope you guys are having a good one. We're getting ready for this Marshall game tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll talk some of that. We want to, excuse me, we're going to look at a kind of a highlight tape. I want to see what these Marshall Thundering Herd look like against Va Tech, another Power 5 school. So it might be a good measuring stick. At least, we can see maybe some players that stuck out here and there. Guys, some guys it might not be a good measuring stick for, but so I'm curious about this quarterback, the running game, the D-line, the defense entirely. So we'll see what we got here. So please, I do have a question for the chat. I would like you to drop your response in the comments. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Right now, I believe the USC at Michigan game is I've got 6 points. Okay, how about? Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'll get to it later, I guess. I'm sure you enjoyed the show without me anyway. So just trying to, we're going to a backup microphone right now. This thing's useless, obviously. So I might as well throw that in the trash. All right. So hope you enjoyed that video without my play-by-play. It was amazing. You should have heard it. So I will get to your comments, questions. Again, the question for the chat is USC minus 4.5 at the Cheaters. Who you got tomorrow? 3:30 game, by the way, on CBS, I believe. Okay. So drop your answers in the chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, what else do we have to do here? I dare show you another video, but let's talk about this Marshall game first. So coming in, this Marshall team, Phil Steele has them ranked. Their quarterbacks ranked 7th in their conference, the SBC Sun Belt. Running back 7th, receivers 3rd, O-line 9th. Now he has their D-line ranked 1st in their conference, linebackers 2nd, DBs 1st, and special teams 13th. We just saw that punt return by Va Tech. So that makes sense. You got 5 returning starters on offense and defense. They run an air raid system, of course. So this QB battle was wide open. You got, what's her name? Stone Earl is your starter at QB. 44% completion percentage guy. That's not impressive. The backups behind him have not done much. Braylon Braxton has 11 attempts. Cole Pennington, Chad's kid, 5 attempts. So not much to expect there. We'll see if we can knock that starting quarterback out of the game. They're a 60-40 pass to run ratio. So I see a lot of opportunities here for turnovers for sure. What else? Let's see. Some of the stats that jumped out to me when we talk about Marshall against Ohio State is this Marshall offense 111th in the country in points per game, 116th in the country in yards per game, uh, yards per play, 4.3. That's 111th in the country as well. So this offense is pathetic. 101st in third down conversions, man. So in red zone scoring, they're 123rd. On the flip side, the Buckeye defense is first in points per game allowed by opponents, second in yards per game by opponents, first in yards per play, 2.3 average yards per play for the Buckeye defense, 12th in opponent third down conversions, and there is no red zone scoring by this Buckeye defense. It hasn't happened yet. So then you look at the running game, yards per game. Marshall's 66th with 147. The Buckeyes, their defense is third in the country, only allowing 37.5 rushing yards per game. Completion percentage by this vaunted passing attack, they may want to consider changing offenses. If you can't complete more than 37% of your passes, maybe figure out something else. They're at 36.11%. That's 132nd in the country. I didn't know there were 132 Division I teams. Anyway, 3.6 yards per pass. That's also 132nd in the country. But they'll throw it around. 36 passes per game. That's 28th in the country. And yards per game passing, 131. That's 121st in the country. Again, why? Why throw the ball if you can't? That's the question. The Buckeye defense, we know this pass defense is great. Now, completion percentage, they've allowed 56.5%. That's 40th in the country. We could improve on that, I think. 4.4 yards per pass. That's 10th in the country. And yards per game through the air, just over 100 yards. That's 7th in the country. So, again, this is a mismatch offense to defense in both the running and the passing game. I don't see how they're going to move the ball on this Buckeye defense. Now, flip it over. This Buckeye offense going against the Marshall Thundering Turds on defense. Points per game, Buckeyes are second in the country. Again, I understand that you can only play who is in front of you. You know, the schedule is what the schedule is. You can't change it. So Danny Cannell can S my C. If you guys have been paying attention, he's been talking a lot of shit about Ohio State not playing anybody yet. Well, you want to go change the schedule after week 2? Okay, let's do that. Douchebag. Anyway, yards per game, Buckeyes are 5th in the country. Yards per play, Buckeyes are 7th in the country. Third down conversions needs to be better. We're at 50% even. That's 17th in the country. And red zone scoring, we're tied for first at 100%. Now this Marshall defense, though, they allow 31 points a game. That's 89th in the country. Yards per game, they're 54th in the country, allowing 338. Yards per play, they're 34th, allowing 4.4. And third down conversions, they're 38th, allowing 31% of third down conversions there. So running the ball, Buckeyes are good for 221 per game. That's 21st. Marshall defense, 108th. They allow 208 on the ground. So something's got to give there. Then the passing attack. The Buckeyes have a completion percentage of 67%. That's 26th in the country. And this is as a team. Marshall allows 67% completion percentage. That's 96th. Yards per game. Buckeyes put up 322. That's 15th in the country. And the Marshall 130. That's 16th in the country. So that's good. But who they played, I don't know if Vatek really threw the ball a lot. They did have that nice, a couple of big plays because their receivers laid out. But anyway, I think this is going to be a different story with this Buckeye passing attack. Turnovers are not an issue here. Penalties, Marshall's 61st in the country. Buckeyes are 66, so not a big deal there either. So this is pretty lopsided as you go through all these statistical categories and how they rank and we rank and all that shit. But um, yeah, their defense needs to be more consistent. There is a little bit of talent, but back-to-back games, they're coming off a bye, so that should be noted. But playing Tech, then a bye week, then Ohio State might be a bit much for these guys to handle. They had a couple preseason All SBC guys. The safety J.J. Roberts and defensive end Michael Green were all preseason All Conference. Buckeyes are 2-0 straight up against the Herd. So they last met in 2010. Buckeyes beat on pretty good. In the first meeting back in 2004, 20 years ago, that's when we needed a Nugent field goal to escape with a win. So heavy transfer additions, especially on the offense. They've got 4 receivers that transferred in. So, yeah, a lot of transfers. They're trying to piece this thing together again, like a lot of teams are trying to do across the country. I don't see a path to them even scoring, honestly. They're 1-1, by the way, on the season. They ended up losing that Tech game 31-14. Tech just pulled away in that second half. The defense tightened up. So yeah, Charles Huff is their coach. He's 6-7 last year, so rough year for him. But Phil Steele has them ranked second in their division. They still have the East-West divisions. He has them first in the East. So we'll see how things fare. This is going to be another rough game for the Herd, though. So this is the big noon game on Fox, coming from the shoe. So I think the Buckeyes are just going to, hopefully they can start off fast like they did against Western Michigan, put the throttle down and don't let up till the clock hits zeros. Score predictions. Me and Jeff and Sean put on our predictions last Sunday. I think the spread was about the same. It was 39 back then. I have 47-6. I think they get a couple field goals. Nobody gets in the end zone, though. Sean has 51-6, and Jeff has 55-14. So it's like everybody's got the cover barely there. So anyway, let's get to the chat, see what's going on with you guys. And I'm glad you can hear me. You're welcome to drop your score predictions in the chat as well. So let's get these popped up here. If you're watching on screen, you can see your comments and questions popping up on screen. Odysseus first one in, OH and a bunch of nuts. PC is back. Good to see you, PC. I-O. You froze up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what the issue is there. I don't know what the problem is. I had bad internet all day, actually. Probably should have rebooted the damn modem before we started up. But anyway, hopefully you got to see the highlight video of the Marshall Tech game. Okay, hopefully we worked out the sound issues. I'll get on that shit. Scroll at the bottom is going. Okay, so we had some kind of weirdness there for a couple minutes. Apologies for the technical issues. Thank you for communicating, though. PC says those dudes are going to get smothered. Kind of feel bad for them, but not really. It's all about the hunt for a natty. Collateral damage. Did you guys have an issue at all with the whole biscuit thing, the Tudor's biscuits, all you can eat, NIL talk coming from Charlie Huff, their quarterback? I mean, their head coach. Midweek, if you didn't hear it, during the press conference, he was basically, trying to sell some of the guys that, don't play much for Ohio State, like to come down to Marshall. He can get them an NIL deal, all you can eat biscuits all day long or something at Tudor's. So did anybody have an issue with that? Ryan Day took it, well. I think that coach has a good reputation. So maybe Ryan Day knows that it was lighthearted, you know, but some coaches get a little touchy when you start trying to openly and actively recruit their players. I mean, technically that's an NCAA violation, but since the NCAA does no good and doesn't do anything, it just falls on deaf ears. But I was curious to see how Ryan would respond to that, but he took it pretty lightly and got the gist. Stephen Cherry's in. I know you got a score prediction, Stephen Cherry. Drop it on me. Steven's back. We got two Stevens. Apologies for the technical issues again. Odysseus says LB need to be their best, contain that RB, shut down their offense. Exactly. These quarterbacks, whoever it is, I assume it's going to be Stone Earl. Stone Earl, he's the guy that hangs out in front of the gas station down on the block. Yeah, we all know him. No, you're right. That defense needs to play out of their minds, and I don't see how they run the ball. Steven says, hey, Odysseus, hey, Steven, go Buckeyes. Yeah, we were having some issues. Hopefully they've been addressed. Yeah, we had some technical issues, but we're back. Odysseus says, watching this rushing by Vatek, I can see Trey and Judkins both going over 100 yards. That was one of my five, I would call them kind of predictions from today's show. My five keys. I got Trey and Quinshawn both going over 100 and both getting in the end zone once. Buckeye 7084, maybe People's over 100 too. Yeah, let's go three-headed monster with that. Sure, let's punch him in the end zone. The Buckeye cast. Yeah, no, we can't hear you. Shut up. Okay. All right. We're back on. Thank you for letting me know. PC says, I got USC. I'm taking the over. They win by double digits. Ooh, doggy. Can't say I wouldn't love to see that. I took USC to cover that. I got them in at 6, though. They started off last Sunday when the spreads came out. They were at 6.5, and then it quickly dropped to 6. And by the time we did our Sunday night show at 7:30, it was down to 4.5. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So, yeah, crazy. Steven says, USC 30, the Cheaters 13, another double-digit victory. I love it. Bring it on. Odysseus has USC by 7, similar to their win versus LSU. Do you think LSU is a better team than the Cheaters? I'm not convinced. Maybe. I think the Cheaters have a better defense, but obviously LSU has a lot more options on offense. Thus the orgy. Thus the Alex orgy starting at quarterback. Got to clarify that. You can't just say blurt out orgy. People start looking around. What else? So I like that prediction, Odysseus. USC by 7. Odysseus says, hope to see a blowout, though, just not completely sold on SC. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. You know, I know they got a new DC, came over from UCLA, but is he really the answer? Because I'm not sure they changed enough of their roster on defense, right? And that's the concern. You still got the same guys with just a different coach. Is that really enough to turn that defense around? I don't know. So, but they held LSU under 24. Was it 20? Something like that. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to see a blowout tomorrow for the Trojans. PC says over under 2.5 INTs for BIA tomorrow. I got 4. I called 4 on my daily blitz today. So, yeah, I'm going over that 2.5 PC. I think you're going to see a lot of hands on balls. You know, like we like to We like to talk about that. We like to see hands on balls all day long. PC's going over his own over under. I love it. Odysseus says D needs to pitch a shutout with those numbers. I agree. There's no reason that we shouldn't get another shutout here. Let's go. Give me back-to-back shutouts. Should have been 3 in a row, as I predicted before the season started. Should have been 3 in a row, but, we'll take 2 in a row. Hey, maybe we can pitch one against Sparty. They're not great. Their quarterback likes to whip it around the yard. So, yeah, we need a shutout. Faux show. Steven says over. PC says, who has a worse passing day tomorrow, Marshall or the Cheaters? Oh, I got a player prop for you. I put it in today. The over-under was Alex Orji passing yards, 124.5. I took under. I took under. Yeah. He's not throwing for 125 yards. Now, as long as they don't hit that goddamn Deadwards out of the backfield on like a little swing pass in the open field, we'll be all right. But yeah. Let me see if I can cue this up without my platform shitting itself. So I got something for you. Check it out. Hopefully this doesn't ruin my audio. Okay. This is Alex Orji from the spring game. All right. So only 6 short months ago, about 5 actually, only 5 months ago, this is what Alex Orji was doing in practice, in freaking practice. Yeah. Where's that going? Throwing into double coverage. That wasn't even close. That was terrible. Oh, that was behind him. Sheesh. Yikes. Oh, yeah. So that's what they're going with in Ann Arbor. So yeah, that was funny. That was true comedy. It was beautiful. Beautiful, man. All right, we got some viewers coming in. Got some boys on Twitter, some folks. Anybody on Instagram? Tyler, what's up, Tyler? Good to see you. Lady Shy Shy, what's up with you? Rifling through the comments here. Let's get back to where we were. PC asked the question, who has a worse passing day tomorrow, Marshall or the Cheaters? Uh, can we call it a push? No, I think the Cheaters, honestly. I think the Cheaters. Because we're probably going to put in our backups at some point, at least in the third quarter. I'm going Cheaters on your question, PC. Odysseus says their offense goes through the backup running back that has 100-yard rushing games, right? Yeah. Odysseus says Marshall, BIA greater than SC secondary. Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. I can't argue with the SC secondary probably does suck dick. Odysseus says, speaking of moronic talking heads, Did you hear Klatt basically accuse Ohio State of cheating by tipping off TCU? Hope the home crowd boos him throughout his broadcast. I heard something about that. I didn't know where the hell he was going with that. It didn't make any sense at all. That's not cheating if you tell players or coaches for another school that, hey, your opponent is a known cheater, sign stealer. That's just part of the game. It happens all the time. These coaches, after, the next day on Sundays or whatever, they get on the phone with each other in some cases, and have conversations. What did you guys see from us? Especially if you don't think you're going to play that team. The non-con games are the obvious ones, but if you don't think you're going to play that team the rest of the year, you'll share some information. This is what we saw going into the game. This is what we did, and back and forth. That's a real thing. So that's basically, I guess what Klatt is getting at, but I don't know. I'm about done with all these talking heads. Klatt's one of them too. Odysseus says, "I wish there was an AI on my TV that would mute every time Klatt talks." That should be a thing, right? They've done everything else. We got the quad box on YouTube TV. How about give me a different voice? Have Joel Klatt speak in Chewbacca voice. Wouldn't that be good? I can't understand you, but I like that idea, Odysseus. PC has 49-3 for the Buckeyes. Steven has 52-3. All right. Toledo Hunter 36-10. Okay. Low scoring affair. I'm kind of surprised there. Okay. Appreciate you stopping by. Odysseus says, with the new stats you read, Joe, about Marshall offense, I'm predicting 56-0. Okay. Yeah, it's not impressive, is it? That video, the Vatek game, actually looked like they had some kind of offense going, but few and far between, man. Few and far freaking between. Yep, stats don't lie. Toledo Hunter has 36-10. Oh, for USC and Michigan. Okay, gotcha. That I appreciate you clarifying. So yeah, that's another double-digit victory for the Trojans. What would happen if you gave a Wolverine, a real Wolverine, a Trojan? You just shred it like, yeah. Anyway, PC says biscuits. Really, dudes require Bentleys, not biscuits. Yeah, but if you're say fourth, fifth, sixth, in the depth chart, at receiver or whatever, you might consider some biscuits. Now, it probably works better for O linemen. I think if I'm an O lineman, I would rather have some biscuits than a Bentley, but receivers, they probably want the Bentleys. Yeah, you're right. Odysseus says maybe 73-0 as Day gives Huff the Loxley treatment. Could be. Yeah, Ryan Day doesn't seem to know what the spread is for the most part. He's not a James Franklin or a Lane Kiffin. So he doesn't really seem to give a shit what the spread is. But yeah, 73-0 sounds good. Maybe just a reminder. Yeah, Coach Huff, we're trying to win a national championship here, and so we're going to go hard for 4 quarters. And by the way, please don't try and recruit my players, especially openly like that. This is calling for 2 onside kicks. Ooh, I love it. 2 onside kicks. Yeah, sign me up. When's the last time we got one? Was it Olave against Maryland? I can't remember. Yeah, sign me up for 2 onside kicks. Keep them coming. PC, Stone Girl, the dude who lives behind the 7-Eleven. Yeah, exactly. Toledo Hunter has 51-3 Buckeyes. So everybody's scoring. Score early, score often. That's my motto. PC says, I thought you heard that the orgy over-under on passing was 120. I'd hammer the under, but I don't bet. Okay. His last I saw was 124.5. So close. Odysseus says, Orgy minus 30 yards passing would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be. I would pay to see that. Toledo Hunter says, same here. Peace Clan. I seen that and genuinely thought about opening a sports book. Easy dollars. Nice. Good call on the orgy yards. Yeah, that sounds weird. Orgy yards. I don't think you can do that in public. Neighbors will talk. Odysseus says, what is this, lawn darts? Exactly. Exactly. PC, I called it weeks ago. Orgy will not make it to Columbus. He gets either benched or knocked out injured. That's a fair point. He's going to take some shots, that's for sure. Maybe not against this USC defense, but he's going to get hit around, knocked around a bit, especially when they start playing some of these decent, good defenses in the Big Ten. But yeah, I agree. If he's going to run all day long, clearly can't pass, he's going to get wrapped up by linebackers nonstop. Toledo Hunter says even his 10 to 15 yard passes are way off. Ugly. That's right. Yeah, it is. It is hard to watch. It's funny. It's kind of like a Benny Hill thing. If you had changed it to black and white and like sped it up real quick, play that Benny Hill music. I would just take it to the next level. PC says, Joe, have you heard anything about rolling out the second team en masse in the middle of a drive and then the first team again? Chip throwing a wrench into the mix. I'd love to see it. No, I haven't heard anything about that. That seems interesting. To take everybody out in the middle of a drive and then put the starters back in. I don't know. I guess you could do it. You could pull it off logistically. That's my thing. When I think of taking 11 dudes off, putting 11 dudes on, I guess you could do it. I have not heard of anybody doing that, but maybe more like by position group, change out the entire O line. That might be doable. Tressel used to do that, early in the season and in some of the bowl games. So, yeah, that's interesting though. PC says that Olave kick was a thing of beauty for sure. Yeah, that was perfectly timed up. You could not script that out any better. Odysseus says, I bet TC cheater fans are so delusional they think they've installed the Oklahoma wishbone in week one. Orgy is Jamal Holloway, right? Yeah, that is delusion. Yeah, they should try it. They should try it, but they definitely do not have Jamal Holloway or the backfield. PC says, what about Tuttle? Is he coming back at some point? I thought they said that he was good to go this week. I thought he was going to be healthy. And all the fans are saying, just wait until Jack Tuttle's healthy. I laughed out loud, obviously, because no one has ever said that, ever. Even Indiana fans didn't say that at one point. But I thought he was supposed to be back this week. Apparently, he's not good enough. Yeah, exactly, Odysseus. Imagine Jack Tuttle as your savior. You just wait. Jack Tuttle's coming. And hell's coming with me. PC says, I used to love Benny Hill, man. That takes me back, right? Yeah. Steven says, Tuttle is waiting to clear Medicare. Yeah. Working on that 8th year. What if he gets injured again? Maybe he can put in for an 8th year. That'd be crazy. Bucks Forever 65. Hey guys, go Bucks. Go Bucks to you. Appreciate you stopping by the show. Troy says, if Tuttle is your answer, you're asking the wrong questions. Yes. Yeah. Start over. Yeah. Tuttle, 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 Tuttle. Please don't. Odysseus says, speaking of 7-year QBs, Utah and Okie State features 2 of them. Yeah. What was the combined age? Like 49, 47, 49, something like that? Their combined age of the starting quarterbacks in that game? Freaking nuts, man. PC says, I'm out on these 7th-year seniors. That's crap. Well, just wait because the NCAA is kicking around the idea of adding a 5th year of eligibility to everybody. No longer will it just be 4 years of college eligibility. They'll take away they want to do away with the redshirt year entirely. Just give everybody 5 years across the board, blanket eligibility. So I don't know if that'll go through. They still have to put it through committees, and they got to meet on it, and there's got to be subcommittees that meet on it, and you got to go meet and have an extravagant lunch on it, have drinks and cocktails at a nice hotel bar, and then they'll vote on it again. And I don't know, we're not going to see it this year. Obviously, it probably won't even go in effect until after next year, I would imagine. But yeah. I agree. I am tired of the 7th-year senior crap. Bucks Forever 65 says, what do you think of them possibly changing the whole offensive unit during the drive? I hear that might be a thing. Yeah, PC just brought that up a few minutes ago. I have no problem with it. It seems like I'm asking what the upside is, other than to give guys a break, obviously. I mean, if it's going to be super hot again and humid, maybe you do that on a long drive, a 10 plus play drive. Maybe you do that, but I don't know. I have no problem with it. It just seems like really difficult to take off all 11 and put 11 back on, new. They all have to be ready to go and stay within the play clock. So, PC says 5 years across the board kind of feels like letting your kids stay on your insurance until they're 27. Oh, wait. My bad. Yeah. Well, if you take away the red shirt, it makes sense. Now, if they wanted to keep the red shirt, that doesn't make any freaking sense. And then add an extra year. I mean, you're going to have guys in school for 10 years, with the medical hardships and stuff like that. But so we'll see. We'll see if it happens. These things take, years to pass, and the NCAA moves at a glacial speed. So Troy says they already have the redshirt option if necessary to make 5 years the norm. Seems like it might take opportunities from high school players. That's exactly right. That's the downside. Yes, exactly. The longer guys are in college, the fewer high school players are going to be able to come up and obviously be recruited and get taken by colleges. So, Div Jack 8, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Says the idea of changing out a la a hockey shift change is the dumbest, most ridiculous idea I've ever heard. How do you really feel? It's different. I've never seen it done before, honestly. Not that I can recall, anyways, off the top of my head. It sounds just difficult to do, but yeah, I don't see what the upside is. Why? What's the upside? Is my question for Ryan Day. If this is really a thing, if this is just people spitballing, then whatever. But I'd be surprised if we actually see this happen. Odysseus says, I worry about the lawsuit allowing 30-plus year QBs coming where players challenge for their right to stay in college and earn NIL. Yeah. 30-plus year quarterback. there's plenty of lawsuits coming for the NCAA. That one might be on the back burner, but I get your point. Uh, Players do want to stay in college when they're obviously not good enough for the NFL. But at some point, the NCAA has to be like, okay, that's enough. Go play somewhere else. There's other leagues. You got Canada, AFL, UFL, all that shit. USFL, is that a thing? Arena. So yeah, you gotta kick them out at some point. PC says, I think it would be great. It would probably force the defense to call a timeout to figure things out. The line change, yeah. I don't know. It just seems kind of sticky, goofball stuff. Dibjack8 says, I'm driving, so I'm just getting straight to the point. Perfect. We love it. All the defense would do is slow play their personnel change so that they're allowed to. It makes zero sense. Yes, I get your point. When the offense makes a change in personnel, you see the ref run up and block the quarterback from taking the snap, right? Until the defense has changed their personnel and are happy with their grouping or whatever. So yeah, I agree. Did Jack? There's no upside. I don't see it. The defense is allowed to come out with their personnel grouping to match. So yeah, I don't see why it's a thing. PC says, oh, it's a thing. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Okay, well, that'll be interesting. We'll all watch together, and I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. But good points by Dibjack. I want to give him props there on the defense being allowed to change their personnel as well. Troy says, seems like that would be filled with problems like too many men on the field or false starts, illegal formation. Those are all excellent points. That's why I question what the upside is. There's a lot of downside, What's the upside? Especially if you're changing quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, everything. I don't get it. I don't understand that. It's much easier to do by series by series, start off with a new lineup, versus middle of a drive. And you got to stay within that play clock. What if some receiver thinks he's in on this play, and because you're in a rush to get 11 new guys on the field, he fucks up, and you got too many men on the field, or he's lined up wrong. We see it happens without changing the entire lineup, PC says, Chip has all kinds of stuff like that. Do you think we'll see the wing T again this season? That I do want to see, yes. I want to see both running backs in the backfield, Quinshawn and Trey. Let's see that lined up on either side of Will Howard, and let's run some option. Let's get it going. Sign me up for that for sure. Troy says, I hope we do. Peace, clan. Bucks Forever 65 says it would create chaos and might confuse the defense's communication. Yeah, it could. It could. But again, they're allowed, as much time as they need to match the personnel and swap guys out. So that's why I don't see the upside. Now, if you're trying to hide a player coming on the field, maybe, I guess, but who are you trying to hide? I mean, and why? They're easily up in the box going to be able to call down and tell you, oh, they've got 5 wide receivers in the game. Get the DBs in, or whatever it might be. We're going to wind down here. PC says, yeah, 2 running backs, 4 tight ends, 5 wide receivers. I love it all. Sure, bring it on. Yeah. You'll see some. Chip will bring in some variety with the formations and stuff like that. He'll get creative for sure. And then you're not going to see the entire playbook. We definitely have not seen the entire playbook yet, and we probably won't throughout the year. It takes a long time Chip probably has his group of plays that he likes, and you don't go deep into the playbook very often, because you shouldn't have to against, especially his first, 4 or 5 opponents. So, yeah. All right, folks. Appreciate everybody joining me. Steven coming in with the last comment. I can't see Marshall getting 100 yards on our defense. I agree 100%. Western Michigan put up 99 yards 2 weeks ago, so I don't think Marshall has the dudes. But please join us Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Me, Jeff, and Sean. We'll be giving you our instant reaction to the Marshall game, and we'll get you ready for next week's game against Sparty. So, PC said, "Oh, we'll give you the last one since it's a compliment." PC, thanks for what you do, Joe. Watch every day. Thank you. Go Bucks. Yes, go Bucks, PC. I appreciate you guys. And as always, hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll see you Sunday night. I'll have my instant reaction Sunday morning. And Sunday night, we'll get Jeff and Sean and get their instant reaction too. So talk to you later. Go Bucks.